Good morning and welcome to Frank's School. This is the 6th year of Frank's School, the 163rd day, the first video of 2 today. I'm going to go outside to show you some stuff, but I thought it would be easier and maybe clearer without the camera shaking around to explain it now. I'm calling this wood. I forgot. Oh, this is part of a little series. Wood. Wood, structural veneer. Structural veneer, you know that, what? I often use the term structural trim when I build my pallet huts, because what people normally think of is just trim, you know, corner boards and casing around doors and stuff. In my huts, it's structural. It's part of the structure. Well, I'm using the same idea. This veneer is sort of what it is, but it's absolutely structural. This material is hewn oak. Now, everyone always says hand hewn, but how else are you going to do something except by hand? So I just say hewn. It's been hewn oak, and then it was sawed or sawn. Sawed. It was at a certain point taken to a sawmill, and these oak logs were ripped in half. I think, although there's some evidence of at least one that might have been ripped into 3 pieces. I'm not sure. A little hard to tell about that, but you can tell what's been sawed and what's been hewn. The wood itself the trees were probably felled about 200 years ago. It's really pretty hard to tell. I guess it could be told. They're heavy. These are 3x6s approximately. They vary. And they're up to 12 foot 6 inches long. When I trimmed a little bit off the ends, because they were they look extremely weathered. When I trimmed it off, I trimmed them down to, they were 13 foot when I started, but I trimmed them, well, it varied, but now they're 12 foot 6. Kid, come on, cat. Get. And I'm going to show them to you. I have 8 of those. 9 well, see, the one I think was sawed on both sides, so it doesn't really, no side is, or edge, I don't think, is hewn. You can't see that. They were in a log barn, I assume. Then they became rafters after they were taken to a sawmill to be sawn. Part of this is guesswork. I actually think I own the sawmill that they were taken to, because I have a sawmill out there, which you've seen in the videos before. It dates from the time of steam engines and was rope driven, not wire rope now, but rope driven. And I have it, and I know where that sawmill was, and it probably was the closest one to where this log barn probably was. Then when I tore down the addition, they were used as rafters on an addition put on the bank barn. You know, back when the bulk tanks came in and farmers had to make their barns bigger and herds bigger to adjust for the bulk tanks and all that. Kind of the demise of a lot of these barns in a way. Anyway, they were used then for rafters in that addition, which I tore off. And when I tore that off, I had this material, and I first used it up on the hill as beams in a theater that I built up on the very top of the hill. I called it the Jewel, I called it the Crown. And in the middle of it was this stage, Shakespearean style, which I called the Jewel. And the balcony around it, I was using these as beams, but I didn't finish one summer before I had to go back to school, and a hurricane that fall blew the thing down. So it all laid in a big pile. And during that time then, this lumber laid outside. I tried to take care of it, you know, I I cleaned the pile up and I stickered it and stuff. But anyway, and I have salvaged almost all of that. And now it's becoming the railing in Thomas Hawkling Hall, which is this name I give for a space down here, where I'll film when I go outside. You'll see that. Now, in all this time that it was used, and for part of the time when they were the rafters in that barn extension, the roof was off, so it's been extremely weathered. But in spite of that, it's only weathered in about 1/16 of an inch out of that, which is you're going to see when I go out and film it. When I took my skill saw across and sawed it off, you can very clearly see how far the weathering goes in, and it's hardly at all. Well, you know, they are, each one of these probably weighs 80 pounds, maybe 100 pounds. I had to have help to get them up to where they are. But I call them veneer because they're backed up. They're going to be backed up by 4x4 softwood posts. All this stuff you're going to see. So, you know, it's strange. The veneer itself is much stronger than the frame, but to the eye, at least, not terribly trustworthy because of the weathering. But the veneer, I'm sorry, the hewing is valued by so many, and myself included. You know, I suppose some people might tend to take it and with a bandsaw, well, you couldn't really, you just hit so many nails, but you could rip off an inch of it and present the hand hewing as what's more like a veneer. But I'm using the whole piece. Well, I guess that's enough for now. If you stick with me, we'll go outside after it gets light, and I'll film some of it. I'm doing it today because some of it is still just laying in a pile. Because in addition to these vertical pieces, I've got the rails to do as well, and I've got that material. I have to see what lengths I've got, and I've got to trim it, and I'll show you all this. Bye for now.